Well, Russell and AB make their way down here. I thought I'd take a minute to introduce Mohamed and Matt. Matt, how's it going?
This is great. It's good to be back. My second Bitcoin conference. But it's great to be here in the Middle East and talk Bitcoin, talk football. Any American football fans? You know what we're talking about
Let's
here?
go.
Okay, there we go.
There's a few. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mohamed Sanu here. I just wanted to say I'm grateful to be here. This is actually my first Bitcoin conference, so I've been looking forward to it. Russell invited me, and I was like, man, I would love to be a part of this journey and this experience.
And Mohamed, first Bitcoin conference, we were talking a little bit yesterday. What made you take the leap? What got you interested in Bitcoin for the first time?
Well, I've been, doing my research on it a little bit and learning more throughout the years. But, when I played throughout the league, I didn't really pay much attention to it because you want to be focused on what you're doing there now. And but I was more focused on other things, and now I want to really dive deep into it.
Yeah, and did seeing your colleagues, Matt and Russell, take the leap, did that influence you and the people around you at all?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of guys that I've known talking about it and they telling me, like, all the great things about it. And you see it across the globe. It's something that's been, growing rapidly.
Absolutely. Oh, here we go. Mr. AB.
The main attraction. Here we go.
There you
This
go.
is for you, man. How's it going? And Russ?
Boy, you look great. Look at you.
Yo, how y'all doing? What I missing right here? Oh, shit.
Boy, we get them.
Yo, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Where you get them
Antonio
shoes?
Brown, everybody. Fashionably late.
Always.
We're Russell, 25 million crypto Bitcoin MVP.
Oh, well, assalamu alaikum. Abu Dhabi, we're here. It's good to see all of you. So on this panel specifically, and we're a little late, so I don't know how far you've gotten. But Antonio, can you give everybody just a quick introduction, of who you are?
I'm Antonio Brown. Glad to be out here with my friend Russell. All my friends here talk about Bitcoin and crypto, how it correlate with being an athlete. How you the first guy who took the level of investing and being in Bitcoin to the next level. So I'm here to explain the correlation of how Bitcoin go with being an athlete and being a professional on and off the field. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, we welcome you all. Really excited. All right, guys. So I want to talk about the concept of greatness. In our field, we're very used to seeing people reach the pinnacle of success. We're very familiar with achieving the heights of human potential. So the concept of greatness is something that we've all pursued and chased. So I'm going to ask each of you, what is greatness to you? What is greatness? Mohamed, how about we start with you?
I feel like greatness is a culmination of a couple things, and one of them is consistency in what you want in life. So if you're consistently driving towards something, or you have your mind focused on something, and you day in and day out, and you omit it out there, and you give it to everyone, and you stay consistent in what you're doing, I feel like you can achieve everything. And it starts with just that day in and day out, incrementally getting better. So I always like to say it's a 1% better type of thing. And over a long period of time, you can look back and you see all the great things that you've done, all the impact and everything that you accomplished.
That's good. And Matt, could you elaborate a little bit about what makes someone great?
What makes human great?
Yeah, what makes an athlete great?
I think there's a few different metrics you can use to characterize greatness, right? What the world says and when you compare yourself to everyone else. I mean, being an expert in your field, being an expert in a craft makes you great in whatever you're doing. And then I think there's a personal level as well of what you're capable of pushing past what you think you're capable of, both mentally and physically. And I think all of us who have been in sports and have played at a high level, you know that there was a barrier that you had to break through, whether that was an off-season training or you're running sprints and your heart rate's pumping through your chest. You don't think you can do it anymore. And you reach a level of greatness, even in your own mind. If people don't recognize it right away, you know it's coming because of the work that you put in. And so I think all the mental aspect and the training that we put in ultimately results in being great because we trusted the process.
Antonio.
I feel like greatness is your commit to excellence in regards of your pursuit to whatever your goal is. You know, being great is a correlation of commitment that's never ending. And it takes a lot of discipline, like you guys were saying, of being great to really not know what you're doing, but just continue to work with that commitment and excellence in regards of what your goals are. So I think being great is a commitment to excellence, being committed, the battle of excellence never ending, and having ultimate discipline to know what are you being great at.
So Mohamed, greatness. How does greatness translate into other areas of your life? Maybe you specifically.
Well, I feel like you have to be consistent in all areas of life, whether it's the way you brush your teeth or the way you make your bed. If I always like to say the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So I always like to do everything to the best of my ability because I don't know who's watching or who may be, looking, because I don't know, the one person that's looking is always God. So I always try to give my best and try to do everything in a consistent manner.
And Antonio, you've obviously had a lot of success on the field, literally a Hall of Famer. Talk a little bit about that path. When did you know? Because you've had a very interesting background, so maybe you could talk about that too. When did you know that you're on the path to be who not everybody else says, who they see you are now, but you weren't always game time. That wasn't always who you were. So when did that shift change? When did that mentality, really arrive for you?
I feel like in life you gotta always have a belief in yourself in regards to whatever you do. Criticism come with achievement. The more you achieve, the more you're gonna get criticized. And you gotta have a belief system in yourself in regards of chilling out everything you hear about what people say and having that belief in yourself, that true drive to know what are you in pursuit of. People gonna always talk about you, have naysay things to say. True happiness is staying to the commitment of the things you inspire and aspire to achieve in your life. So for me, it's always was the belief in myself. No matter what nobody said, you gotta have the ultimate belief. And that's come with being great. I'm sure you guys heard about things you couldn't do. People said what they thought about your 40 time, what they thought about your height, how much you weighed. So I feel like you gotta have the ultimate belief if you wanna be great in yourself. And it usually start when you're a child, having that belief or building that belief or having leaders around you. So it's all about your belief system. Always believe in yourself. Don't let no one tell you what you can't do. And if you write down your goals, have a higher percent of coming true.
One more question regarding greatness. Often when we talk about greatness, there's a component of legacy which then follows after. You've been able to accomplish these amazing feats in life or on the field, and you look to this person and you say, wow, they'll have a legacy. They'll have something which lasts forever. So Matt, talk about legacy and what that ultimately means.
So I'm a father of 3 children, and so legacy has a different meaning now. And I played 11 years in the NFL, mostly as a backup. So my legacy in the NFL isn't going to be remembered for my stats or my touchdowns. I had a pretty good college football career at the University of Southern California, and stat-wise, that legacy remains on a leaderboard for touchdowns and passes and all that stuff. But I think what lasts longer than that is the character and who I was as a man, how I operated, how I served in the community, what a teammate I was. And being a backup in the NFL, I learned that it's a lot more than numbers that makes a team great. And the legacy that I had, even if I was on the sideline, of being the ultimate encourager to the starting quarterback, to the receivers or whoever being the mediary on the sideline or in the quarterback room when we're studying tape, just being a core value that'll last a lot longer than numbers will, and knowing what people will say about you. And again, as a father, how does that translate to the next generation and what comes after you? And so now being able to teach life to little people who don't know anything and to raise them up. And I mean, I honestly think Bitcoin plays an important role in that, in a legacy, right? And as athletes, we have kind of an opposite earning curve of most people when you're working up a corporate ladder traditionally, and then you peak in your 40s, your 50s. We earned it in our 20s, right? And now we're trying to sustain that. And how do you do that? Bitcoin is a way where you have an everlasting, lifetime appreciating asset that, again, you can leave to generations after you.
And that's the point. That's why many of us love Bitcoin the way we do. One, it's the greatest asset. It is the greatest asset in the entire world. And two, and I'm saying this as my children are here and my wife are here, you can leave a legacy behind you. Look, I've loved watching the greatest players of all time like everybody else. But at some point, the confetti falls, those trophies gain dust, and those rings will fade. And you have to look up and ask yourself, what did you accomplish in life? Do you have something which can be passed on into the future? You know, and Bitcoin has been something like that for all of us here. You know, so as we talk about greatness, as we talk about legacy, I didn't arrive at that point until I understood at one moment how much I have traded my health for wealth. That was a very easy trade for us. So can we talk about, well, Antonio, as a person who has now created a business called CTESPN, can you talk about why you called it that, right? And then also how you've traded your health for wealth and its damages.
Well, CTESPN is, I think they like to always correlate football players with CTE is a symptomatic trauma that they feel like we have, but I feel like the more people who go through trauma, the more greater you could be. You know, when you face adversity, it kind of builds character. So for me, whatever you go through is shaping you for the embetterment of your best self. So use everything you go through as a stepping stone to develop and be your best self. And I turn people calling me crazy into a brand because you got to be able to deal with a lot of trauma, to play football, to make it in life, saving your money and longevity of your money to live a good life. You got to be able to overcome trauma of your coach saying last year wasn't good enough. Just all kind of traumas throughout life. Coming from different football teams, playing for different teams. I know you guys played for different football teams. The trauma that came with that. The trauma that come with the media of people saying whatever they want to say about you, and you can't really public defend yourself. So I think it's a lot of traumas that everyone faces on a day-to-day basis. I've been trying to just change the traumas to positivity and open up conversations where people could share their stories and what they've been through and how they shaped them and how they continue to shape them in pursuit of what their happiness are. So for me, it's all about, getting into individuals like you guys here who been through a lot of trauma, who sacrificed your health to make a positive game for life, because to us, it was natural. I'm sure all of us on this stage have been playing football since we've been kids. So to us, we possibly played the game more free than we got paid, growing up as a little kid playing this game. So obviously it's a lot of trauma having grown guys hit you in the head, being able to fall on the ground and do that repetitively. So for me, it's just about explaining people the unique challenges that we face as football players and how we continue to face even when our football lives over. Because we're still men and we still have to provide and leave a legacy, and that's what life's about.
Right. And again, it's the trade. It's trading my health for more wealth. Right. And Mohamed, you have massively been able to create businesses. You have understood that our time on the field is limited. So because of those limitations, the onus then falls on us as players, as people of influence, of people that are coming into wealth and capital, to now seize these moments and decide to create businesses, right, or to improve upon that legacy. You have a series of businesses and ways in which you've decided to parlay your money, your wealth, right, in order to create industry. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, ironically, since we've been talking about legacy, own sports complex, multi-sport sports complex called Legacy Sports Complex, where we train the youth from toddler, 5 years old or 2 years old, all the way up to 90-year-old grandma, grandpa. And we like to give the whole entire community something that they've never experienced. So it's a holistic experience, and we try to provide something that brings the whole family sector together. So in America, if you guys are familiar, a lot of people play a lot of different sports. A lot of people have a lot of different families. So like, for instance, like Matt here, he has 3 kids. So if he has to take his 2 sons and his daughter to different sporting events, and it's only one person, or his wife has to go somewhere else, we like to have the sports complex where you can bring your whole family, and we have football, basketball, soccer, baseball, anything that you can possibly think of, all encompasses in one. So we can bring your whole family sector. You can all come together, better yourself, worry about your health, worry about your mental life, health, worry about all the things that you necessarily need so your whole ecosystem can be better. So we like to provide nutrition. We like to provide health care. We have Botox doctors, aesthetic doctors for the ladies that like to keep their beauty intact. And I know a lot of people like natural beauty, but we like to help cover all our bases, because at the end of the day, we don't want families to be able to have to order food from McDonald's, or we would like to have the family be able to come all together, have the time to go home and prepare a proper meal so they have family dinner. And we just like to make it a whole, beautiful ecosystem. And we provide like after school care and a lot of different cool niches that, not many sports complexes do. And it was all encompassing. I like to invite a lot of players that I've played with along my career to help them change their community. So right now we got 4 coming up. When I started, it was just 1 about 2 years ago, and it's rapidly growing. And it's a beautiful thing, because you can see the impact that you're, making on people, whether it's the youth, whether it's some teenager or a 40-year-old man that just trying to make sure his levels are okay, and he doesn't know if what's going on hormonally. So we do hormonal therapy and all those different things, and just to make sure you are taking care of yourself and your longevity and your health. Because like you said, we sacrifice our health for wealth. And when your health is your wealth, you start to think differently. You start to behave differently. And we want you to understand and be educated on what you're doing and what you're eating and where you are in life, so you can continue to live a prosperous and better life.
Mohamed, something that we discussed earlier was you have been able to invest and build a series of sports complexes and facilities. Mm-hmm. And can you talk about your approach to Bitcoin, particularly as you own a lot of real estate and you're looking at the power cost in Georgia, particularly as they've launched more nuclear initiatives, and what you're thinking about next?
Well, talking to Russ, I was thinking about, starting, some mining sites correlating close to the sports complexes, because, like I said, in Georgia, there's so much land, so much opportunity, and there's a lot of power that's there. So it's unique to be able to be in a position to be able to help facilitate something like that, help change, a lot of people's lives, help them become more educated like myself. Because, like I said, you don't know what you don't know. So if you're able to deliver the right information to the right people, and you're able to help change generations past you, that's what legacy is about. Right. So, and that's the beauty of Legacy Sports Complex. It's not about us. Everybody's trying to cement their own legacy. Everybody's trying to do something for their next generation or their family. And that's the place for us to do it. We try to give it out to the community so you have that outlet to reach out to.
Very nice. And Matt, you spend a lot of time speaking to families and family offices and wealth managers, people who have no idea what Bitcoin is. You have literally went from being just a pro athlete to now helping people find, even by proxy, ways to have exposure to Bitcoin. What are you up to?
Yeah, so again, this is my first year without football since 2000. So 24 years of my life spent playing football, and it's been a bit of an adjustment, but got plugged in pretty seamlessly to kind of a traditional wealth management role, but leading our tech and crypto investments and ultimately providing clients exposure to Bitcoin, which is there. Once that floodgate opens, at least in America, it's going to usher in a wave of assets that will just skyrocket the price of Bitcoin, in my opinion. And a lot of clients traditionally, they think it's too risky, like the volatility, or you don't know where it's going to go. And ultimately, I think it's riskier not to have exposure to Bitcoin, especially in a retirement account for people who are trying to preserve their wealth. And so that's kind of what I'm advocating for, and my mission right now of providing that to clients in a traditional sense and kind of bridging that gap.
And you're the young guy in office. Mm-hmm. You're the young person who understands future and innovation. What's that like dealing with maybe traditional finance people who want nothing to do with it?
It's nice to have my firm in my corner. I don't come from a traditional finance background, which they actually like, although I've been in the markets for years as a trader, and I've been in Bitcoin and other cryptos since 2016, early 2017. So I've been through the ups and downs. Volatility seems completely normal to me compared to the normal stock market. And they appreciate my different perspective that I bring. And I'm just tied in with a lot of circles that most of traditional finance is not. And luckily, in my case, they appreciate that and value that. So again, a lot of guys in my position, when you're done with a sport or with football, that's been your identity for so long, it's often a really hard transition, which I struggled with for a little bit right after I was done, but thankfully found a transition to be in something that I'm passionate about, not only finance, but Bitcoin, and to hopefully bring that to the masses even more.
Amazing, amazing. Antonio, what have been your interactions with Bitcoin and crypto?
I feel like I had a great reaction with Bitcoin, crypto, being able to store wealth, receive money, send and receive money. I'm obviously seeing what you did, Russ, with making 6 mil turn into 25 mil. So I think Bitcoin and crypto go a correlation with, being an athlete with just being on the team. You need a team of people with Bitcoin, with sending and sharing money and trading and making money. So I feel like it's a great asset for digital currency moving towards the future.
That's very good, very good. And you said it the right way. When I decided to put, my savings and accept Bitcoin as a form of compensation, what did that ultimately mean to me? That was less hits to the head, right? In American football, a very traumatic and hard sport, a brutal sport. Here I am, which I would have needed maybe 6, 7 more years to create that amount of wealth, right? And you're able to do it in 2 or 3. Yes, there are cycles, there are waves. But if you take a very long-term view, ultimately, you're going to need to invest into an asset anyway. And here Bitcoin it eliminated all of these pieces which typically weigh athletes down. You need a financial advisor, you need a manager, and everybody wants their cut, they have their hands out. And just taking money in Bitcoin and not doing anything with it. This means more time with my children, more time with my wife, more time to think freely and not necessarily from a scarcity mindset. That's what makes Bitcoin so powerful. That's why it makes sense in sports. Here's my final question, guys. We have a platform, an incredible opportunity to use our voices, our influence to help change the world. How are you guys doing that? And I'll just say just a quick 30 seconds. How are you guys doing that? Right? What's your goal to do that? Right? And how can Bitcoin align with that? Mohamed, you first, and then we'll work our way back.
I'll go first. I'll give you a quick 30 seconds. And start by legacy. I just want to leave a legacy bigger than me. And I feel like the way I do that is by putting all these legacies across the world. That was one of my goals when I first started it. I wanted to be able to change the world holistically, make everybody better, healthier, stronger as a community, because that's what it's about. If we can pull everybody together, keep the community stronger, it's only going to grow, and that's what the Bitcoin community is doing. It's growing rapidly. Everybody's getting stronger, and they're growing together, and that's what's about.
Matt.
I think if you picture this like throwing a pebble or a rock into still water and the ripple effect that goes out, I think starting with your personal identity and trying to achieve greatness personally, and then letting that infiltrate your family to where you're trying to build a strong family that has legacy, and that reaches out into your community, your friend group, your school group, your sports teams, whatever you're involved with, in the workplace. Like, how are you impacting the circles you're in? And that ripple effect over time just keeps expanding and expanding. And how does it tie to Bitcoin? I mean, we started this off talking about greatness. I think Bitcoin is the greatest asset class ever invented. It's the greatest financial system that we've ever known, and I think we'll ever see. And to be able to be a part of it is just something special in our lifetime.
AB, take us home.
Well, I think we got an amazing platform where we can share and show you guys how Bitcoin and being financial literacy appropriate on our online site. So be sure to follow us online to be able to share the platform and share with you guys how Bitcoin is growing and how to use the digital currency.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Masalam.
Mashallah.
Is your company ready for the next evolution in financial strategy? Bitcoin for Corporations is your partner in securing the future of your business. With exclusive membership benefits, our comprehensive masterclass, and a network of trusted service providers, we provide the insights and resources to help you incorporate Bitcoin into your financial strategy, ensuring stability and long-term value. Strengthen your business. Innovate with confidence. Bitcoin for Corporations, protecting your treasury and positioning you for the future.